Externalities. An externality is the uncompensated impact of one person's actions on the well-being of a bystander.
What are the two types of externalities?
The two types of externalities are a negative externality or a positive externality. Negative externalities is when the effect on bystanders is adverse. Positive externalities is when the effect on bystanders is beneficial.
An example of a negative externality is when your neighbor is blasting music while you're trying to do your microeconomics homework. Another example of a negative externality is when the neighbor's dog is barking.
An example of a positive externality is better education, because better education improves the government and it lowers crime rates. This is a graph for a negative externality. First, you draw the graph and label the axes price and quantity. Next, draw the supply curve, which is also the private cost. Then, draw the demand curve, which is the private value. Where the two curves meet is the equilibrium. Then, shift the supply curve left, creating the social cost curve, which is private cost and external costs. The external cost is in between the private cost curve and social cost curve, and where the social cost curve intersects with the demand curve is the optimum.
This is the graph of a positive externality. First, you draw the graph, and then you write price and quantity. Then, you draw the supply curve, which is also called the private cost. Then, you draw the demand curve, which is the private value. And where the supply curve and the demand curve meet is called the equilibrium. Then, you shift the demand curve right to create the social value, which is the private value and external benefit. In between these two is the external benefit, and which creates the optimum.